What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to my match reaction here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool beat Bournemouth by 3-0. A result that puts to bed the disappointing result against Nottingham Forest last week. 5 games into his Premier League start, Arne has 4 victories, 10 goals, just 1 conceded, and today was an attacking masterclass. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the game over the next few minutes. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget you can come and see us live in Liverpool November 15th at the Hot Water Comedy Club. You can get your ticket for that with the link in either the podcast description or the YouTube video. And we wouldn't be here today without our amazing sponsors, Manscaped. You can get yourself 20% off everything in the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra or anything at manscaped.com by using our discount code Anfield20. Put in the code Anfield20, all one word at checkout, to get that 20% off and free shipping. Whether it's the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Boxer Brief, the Shed Travel Bag, or anything at manscaped.com. We wouldn't be able to do what we do on a match day without them. So thank you to them for their incredible ongoing support of us here at Anfield Agenda. Right, let's go all the way back to the start and talk about the team selection. The big eye-raising moment was, of course, Darwin Nunez getting the start through the middle instead of Diogo Jota. Looking to the bench as well today, there was no Wataru Endo on the bench whatsoever. And, of course, Harvey Elliott missed the game along with our goalkeeper, Alisson Becker, which meant a start for Caoimhín Kelleher. Fair to say, Caoimhín, as he always does, did not let us down. Kept a clean sheet, made some fantastic saves as well. I still don't know how Bournemouth didn't score today. That one that Kelleher cleared off the line, I was fully sure the referee was going to get the little alert on his watch, but thankfully he didn't. Centre backs today as well, Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate, I thought both were imperious. It was a game like I expected, end to end, both teams coming to attack. It was always going to be a very different 90 minutes to the one against Nottingham Forest. Moving up the pitch though, and that midfield trio of Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister is just going to keep going from strength to strength to strength. Yes, we're going to need to rotate, and yes, I still believe we need to add in another bit of quality in midfield, 4 options. But when they're fit and firing and on song, they are a joy to watch. If I'm being uberly critical today of Ryan Gravenberch, who has had a tremendous start to the season, I do feel he gave away possession, I think at least 4 occasions today, either with an underhit or an overhit pass. That aside though, it was incredible to watch him breaking the lines, to see Dominic Szoboszlai breaking lines, and Alexis McAllister doing everything from both ends of the pitch, starting attacks, getting into the penalty area himself, and his range of passing. You probably remember the ball that he played through in the first half, first time to Darwin Nunez. Incredible. I do think it was good management from Arne Slot to give Ryan Gravenberch, to give Dominic Szoboszlai a breather and get Curtis Jones on. Last thing we want to do is overload any of the players, so managing their minutes and the workload this season is going to be pivotal to preventing injury, so full credit to Arne Slot on that one. Moving into the attacking end of the pitch though, and look, let's just all take a moment to behold the magnificence of Luis Diaz. He was unplayable today, quite simply. Gave the Bournemouth defence a warning early doors. They didn't pay heed to it, and after that, it was the Luis Diaz show. First goal was a beautiful ball played diagonally into the centre from Ibrahim Konate. I can't do this justice however I describe it, but to see Diaz, see Kepa running out towards him, use his body, chested away from the outrunning goalkeeper to the right side of the penalty area and still show the composure then to steady himself and side full it into the goal. Incredible start to the game. Second goal then came from Trent Alexander-Arnold passing the ball to the left side of the penalty area to Diaz, actually centrally, and then he skipped out to the left side, slots it between the legs of Kepa, makes it 2-0, and we all breathe a sigh of relief. But we all wanted the Darwin Nunez moment, didn't we? McAllister, as I mentioned, did play a great pass to him earlier on, and he made a shot that forced Kepa into a save. But when the goal came, wow, was it worth waiting for? I'm going to try and do it as much justice as I can. So the ball gets played aerially to the halfway line, where Darwin Nunez is out near the far side of the pitch. He wins the header, knocks it down to Mohamed Salah, but he didn't just rest on his laurels. He then spun back into the channel, Mohamed Salah played a lovely weighted ball into the right side. Darwin burst into the penalty area. Bournemouth defenders got back at him, and Darwin was still able to take his time, assess the situation, buy himself a yard to get onto his left foot. And after that, it was just a wonderful, wonderful strike that Kepa was never getting anywhere nil. And Darwin wheels away in celebration, and everybody breathed a big sigh of relief. I also thought it was great man management today from Arne Slot to take Darwin off. The reason is, look, you could say keep him on, keep the confidence going. But I would argue with West Ham coming up midweek, giving him that standing ovation, letting him receive the adulation and the plaudits from Anfield, I thought was a masterstroke from Arne Slot as well. So I thought that was perfectly done. We can talk about Mohamed Salah's performance today. You don't want to ever undermine the great man. We know what he's capable of. We know how good he is. But this is the second week in a row in the league where he's looked devoid of confidence when he gets into the final third. Everybody was off against Nottingham Forest, so certainly not looking to lay any blame at Mo for that result. But today, his work rate is always there. But his decision making and the tame efforts that he did shoot on goal, I think most of you listening will agree, he could have and probably should have done a lot better. But today we almost got the magical start for Federico Chiesa as well. Arne Slot made changes, the 3 substitutions that he made today. He took off Dominic Szoboszlai first and replaced him with Curtis Jones. Very sensible substitution. The next 2 changes seen Luis Diaz and Darwin Nunez both be replaced by Federico Chiesa and Cody Gakpo. Again, sensible stuff. I would have argued I would have taken Mo off to give him a rest, as well as, of course, because he wasn't playing well in the final third. But I'm being hyper-critical there. We did have a volley from distance from Chiesa, which was straight at Kepa. Then the moment where almost his first goal. There's an argument to say he probably might have been offside, but Chiesa got the ball and rifled it and it hit the post. He looks exciting. He looks happy to be here. And the options now for Arne Slot, if you're looking at an attack, to have Mohamed Salah, Darwin Nunez, Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Federico Chiesa and Jadon Danns to come back for the future as well. I mean, I'll take that, my friends. Big questions now, though. If you are Michael Edwards, what do you do around the Salah situation? Started the season really, really well. Has had a couple of off games in the league now, back to back. Difficult decision. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I'm glad I'm not in his shoes. And I mean, Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. If I was in their shoes, I'd be confused right now, because you don't want to overcommit. You want to be respectful for the situation with Mo. But I think of the 3 possible extensions, it's going to be the most difficult one to get done. We don't know what's happening with Trent. We don't. But I still say every effort should be made to keep Trent at the football club. Today, I thought Trent put in a really good shift again. Look, I'm happy. I'm over the moon. You can never complain about a 3-0 victory. And as I mentioned, it is 10 goals scored, 1 conceded in the league. And we've been unlucky enough that the 1 goal we've conceded was in the week where we were blunt in attack and we couldn't get an equaliser. But as I sit here recording this now, Liverpool sit top of the Premier League. Yes, of course, there is a game to come tomorrow, a big game between Manchester City and Arsenal. Somebody's going to drop points there, so it will keep us, I think, minimum second place probably in the Premier League table at the end of the weekend. I'll take that. Newcastle lost today as well, so a bit of pressure on Eddie Howe. Aston Villa had a good comeback victory at home. They went 1-0 down, turned it around and won 3-1. Everton got their first point of the season as well. Let's all take a moment to celebrate for the Toffees. Yay! A point. Come on now. Still better than nothing, though. Better than nothing, Everton fans, right? And other than that, it is pretty much a perfect day, my friends. It's going to be interesting to see what Arne Slot does now coming up to the game midweek against West Ham. You want to keep the momentum going, but if I'm looking at it, I'm probably going to say we'll see Darwin get another start. Chiesa probably deserving of a start. You would expect Conor Bradley to come in at right back, Kelleher to keep his place in goal. Jarell Kwanzaa is probably going to be due some minutes as well. Tyler Morton played today for the under-21s in there. I think 3-1 victory over Derby. So yeah, look, it's happy days. Arne Slot looked really pleased, and he probably should be. I know that people are going to make an argument that we took our foot off the gas in the second half, and look, there's probably some truth to that. We could have pushed on and put them to the sword, but you cannot argue with a 3-0 victory at home. we kind of go back to the start and say that I don't know what COD it is. We got to go back to the start and say we did receive a warning from Bournemouth. We gave the ball away. I think it was Gravenberch. Bournemouth counter-attacked. The ball ends up in the Liverpool net. But thankfully for us, the Bournemouth player was about half a yard offside. That seemed to wake us up and spring us into gear, because after that, there only looked to be one winner in the game. I'm going to run through some of the underlying numbers from the game now as well, in case you haven't seen them. Possession-wise, Liverpool with 59% of possession to 41 from Bournemouth. 19 strikes for Liverpool, 13 on target, so far better shots on target ratio than in previous games. Bournemouth had 19 shots with only 6 of them on target. The corners was a very interesting one in this one, actually. Bournemouth come to Anfield and had 9 corners to Liverpool's 3. So you can certainly see what we were talking about in the preview and the build-up. They come to play. They don't sit back. It's not in their nature. And they got 9 corners today. And luckily for us, weren't able to do any damage with any of them. Total passes in the game. Liverpool had 582 passes, with a pass accuracy percentage of 88%. Bournemouth 387 passes with a passing accuracy of 85%. Tackles in the game, pretty close, 19 for Liverpool, 20 for Bournemouth. And the XG, Liverpool outperforming our XG of 1.98 by scoring 3 goals, and outperforming our XG defensively as well, because Bournemouth's XG was 1.03, but we kept a clean sheet. Thanks in no part to some good goalkeeper from Queevy and Kelleher, and of course a very good solid defensive performance from Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. I'm delighted with it. Honestly, I can't keep saying this enough. Take that every single day of the week. And again, next weekend, the game is against Wolves at 5:30. And you would hope that we can go there and keep piling the pressure on them and pick up another victory. It is one game that's let us down this season so far. Just the one blip against Forest. It was a really difficult one to take, because let's be honest, that performance kind of came out of nowhere. You know, we played really well up in the season till that point, especially in the second half of games. If there was one thing I would probably say we need to try and start doing under Arne Slot, is starting games a little bit quicker. We could have been punished today only for that offside flag, and we need to take heed of that, because it has been a bit of a talking point amongst us Liverpool fans, the slow starts we've made in games. Once we get into our rhythm though and get into gear, it's going to be difficult for many teams to live with us. I did see some people in the comments come in and say, oh, it's only Bournemouth or whatever, but yeah, but you can only beat what's in front of you. It was only Forest last week and we lost, so their job is to go out there each week, pick up the 3 points, and I don't think as Liverpool fans we can be in any way displeased with a thoroughly convincing 3-0 home victory. A goal for Darwin Nunez, a much needed goal as well, and 2 for Luis Diaz. If you were Arne Slot right now, you are looking at particularly the left side of our attack and feeling like you have an abundance of riches. I feel really hard for Cody Gakpo, because he's done nothing wrong this season. In almost every other team or in most other seasons, he would probably be Liverpool's starting left winger. But Luis Diaz has just started this campaign magnificently well and is going to take some dislodging. Maybe Gakpo gets the opportunity against West Ham. And this is what I keep talking about. Competition for places. These guys in midfield and in attack are going to push each other on to new levels. Salah now knows he has Chiesa breathing down his throat for a start. Diaz knows he's got Gakpo there. Darwin and Jota are battling out for the starting berth through the middle. And of course, as we've seen today, Arne Slot isn't going to be against the idea of playing Chiesa through the middle, because when he came on today, that's exactly where we did play. Gakpo pushed onto the left, Salah stayed on the right, and Chiesa came in and played through the centre. Lots of options there. If I'm going to be greedy, and I am, I would still like us to go and bring in another midfielder. Not because I don't think Gravenberch is really good, but because, again, just that bit of competition and the ability for Arne Slot then to make changes, rotate and rest people. Today we had one midfielder on the bench, and that was Curtis Jones. He did come on, and I thought he did quite well when he did come onto the field. But other than that, you know, for whatever reason, and as I sit here, I sincerely don't know why Wataru Endo wasn't in the squad today. I'm sure I'll find out over the course of the evening, but right now, I don't know whether it was a tactical thing, whether he has an illness or a knock. So all we can say is he wasn't in the team. Yes, we also had Noah Elliott today, who's out with a fractured foot. So, you know, minimum options there for Arne Slot in midfield. Defensively, though, can't argue, can you? You know, clean sheets in 4 games in the league. I'll take that. If we can keep that going throughout the season, who knows what the future has in store for us. It is still early days, my friends, in the Arne era at Liverpool. But one game aside, I'm a very happy Liverpool fan right now. If we can carry this momentum forward, get through in the League Cup on Wednesday, pick up 3 points against Wolves next week in the Premier League, then we're into the final week again before another international break where we'll have Bologna coming to Anfield for Arne Slot's home debut in the Champions League, and then we finish up with a 12:30 kickoff just before the international break as well. I'm a happy Red. I hope you guys are very happy listening and watching as well. And I want to just thank you one more time for your support of the channel. It doesn't go unnoticed, and it really does mean a lot to us. If you are listening to this on a podcast platform, please do leave us a rating on there as well. And if you didn't know we have an Anfield Agenda podcast, well, good news. We have an Anfield Agenda podcast. We put out multiple episodes a week. On Monday, I'm going to be recording with David Lynch. That video will be up on YouTube, but it will also go up on the podcast platforms as well. I'll be recording with Jack Gill then later on in the week. That's going to be a podcast-only episode. So make sure, whatever your podcast platform of choice is, you search Anfield Agenda on there. We try to put out 2 or 3 episodes a week, and your support, as always, is very much appreciated. My friends, I'm going to go and sort out my player ratings video, but I do appreciate your time. I'm going to take Sunday off, so I will be back with you all on Monday evening for the Late Night Agenda, and we'll also have that video with David Lynch coming out Monday evening time. Don't forget about the player ratings video. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to be going up shortly. The Reds are winners again, 3-0. Arne Slot is off to a great start as Liverpool manager, and I am one very happy Liverpool fan. Thank you to our sponsors once again. Don't forget, you can get yourself an incredible 20% off and free shipping store-wide at manscaped.com with our code Anfield20. Use that at checkout, all one word, Anfield20, to get 20% off and free shipping. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Until then, thank you so much for your time. Much love. Bye-bye.